Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Sharing a Drink with Matt. Today I'm talking to the Lompoc County Splatterheads. Yeah.
Hey, Matt.
Oh, hey mate.
And Chris has run a few minutes.
Well, may as well start off anyway.
Yeah.
Something that's been plaguing me for, God, over 25, maybe 30 years is did you name the Lompoc County Splatterheads? Was that because Lompoc County over the mountain was where Charles Manson's Spa and Ranch was?
No, totally to do with Roger Ramjet.
Oh, okay. Yep, gotcha.
Nothing that sinister.
Wasn't his grandmother living there or something? What was the story?
Who's grandma?
Rogers. Like, where's Lompoc County and Roger Ramjet? How's that kind of?
That's where they lived.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool.
Really? Wow.
I think I'm going to rerun that episode, eh?
You should have done the oh, that's another question for later. But you should have done the score for the show.
Yeah, actually doing the theme song would have been clever.
Hey, would have been great. So I'll get back to asking others later. This is one for each one of yous. What was on the stereo when you were growing up? What did your parents subject you to as a child?
We had very little music growing up. We did flood here when I was like 8 or something, and I know all of our all of their records pretty much got trashed. We lost kind of pretty much everything in that flood. So there was remnants records in brown paper sleeves afterwards. So but I do kind of remember things like Roger Miller, things like that.
Wow.
They were both, grew up. They were 20 in 1955, so they loved Elvis and Bobby Darin and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But just not a huge amount of music, though, unfortunately.
Did it influence you to be a musician? That listening to that as a child?
No, not really. It wasn't really a thing, as I say, because music wasn't heavily played. So it was kind of roundabout when I was 10 and I started sort of hearing things like Susie Quattro and AC/DC, stuff like that. So they were the initial things that I started going, wow, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, divinals and all that stuff. Your dog's just staring at you, mate.
Yeah, she's constant. So
okay. Yeah. Next. Where'd you go?
Oh, I'm still here, bro. Yeah. Well, as far as music goes, I remember Mum and Dad were into like James Last and stuff like that. But we had a really good stereo, so sitting in front of the stereo on beanbags, just blasting out stuff was like an experience, and I think that did actually influence me. And we also, in the same room, we had this big pianola, so we'd like be pounding on this thing as little ones, doing like Long Way Back to Tipperary or whatever it might be, these like and singing full belt as they're like blasting this piano out, and that was definitely pretty cool. Like we'd do it as a whole family, just like going for
it. Excellent. Yeah, I'm going to just say this while it's stuck in my head. You guys put me in hospital.
You're welcome.
Well, I can't remember which year it was, but you were playing with Red Planet Rockets at the trade union, and it was one of the splatter nights.
Right.
And yeah, condoms full of blood. Yeah, safety. And I'd been awake for 4 or 5 days, and it just set me seeing you guys at the time, because I've been awake for so long. It just put me into a nervous wreck. Like I had a really bad.
Perhaps you put yourself in hospital then.
Yeah, true. True. So what's on the stereo at the moment? What are you listening to?
Wow. Depends what sort of mood I'm in, I guess. Still Frank, things like the Ramones and the Stooges and all that, but I listen to a range of stuff. I've been encouraged by the amount of good young punk bands that are pumping around Australia, so that's been good. I've been trying to get into a lot of the newer stuff, so some of them get it. So that's encouraging.
Yeah, it's good that, like, because of the 90s was just a big letdown in Australian punk music, if you ask me. And now, like, there's some great acts out there. The young people, like, there's some great new punk bands that have come out in the last, oh God, 20 years, really, like Top Novel and all that.
Yeah, it was interesting you say the 90s, because I was quite sort of disappointed, disillusioned with a lot of music, but as I say, it's good to know that there's people out there doing it, really independent stuff, getting back to basics. A lot of bands are just recording on 4 tracks and stuff like that, and just doing it for themselves, putting out their own records. So that's always encouraging.
Oh, definitely. Next.
Yeah, that must be me. That's cool. Well, music's a bit of love and hate for me, because I'm sort of working with it. So the more exposure I've got, the less work I can do. So it's a bit touch and go as far as listening to stuff when I get home, because I'm usually had enough by the time I get home. But I've got a couple of strains, I suppose. At the moment, I'm into the kind of big band thing, which is pretty cool, like Ray Charles and early stuff like that. Even Bublé now, he's got like the musicians and the production's like pretty out there, so I'm kind of enjoying that. And Jimmy Smith, this jazz guy, has always been a guitar kind of influence, so like trying to get my guitar to sound like his licks and stuff. So I've been listening to a bit of him. It's been pretty good. What else has been going down? Always like a bit of blues too. See, kind of good. So yeah, just having different influences on my guitar. Like I learned classical first off, got into flamenco for a little bit, and that kind of helped my rock and roll. So now I'm kind of want to get a bit of jazz influence, so I can sort of make a little bit difference in my runs. Because like when we started in the Splatterheads, it was just one scale, just go as fast as you can, and like that was it. And it kind of works. Like I still like that kind of vibe, but now I'm just after a little bit of variety in the same sort of thing. I'm more rock now than I am punk per se. Just cleaning up the act. But I mean, even in the 80s, like I was into the punk thing, but once the post-punk, like Elvis Costello and stuff like that, which was kind of really clean and produced really good, and the musicianship was like fantastic. So I'm kind of still kind of stuck in that sort of era, which is just after that sort of thrashy kind of punk sort of thing
Yeah.
was happening.
Yeah, that's, to me, that post-punk thing was the real thing for me.
Mm.
People just going, I can do this. So it opened a lot of doors, and that's the sort of 79, 80, 81, so many just defining records came out in that period.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, I still remember when The Cure came out in 81 or something, 60-second tour or whatever. That just the music was so raw, in your face. It was quite memorable for me. So I always kind of
Was
look
that
for
the
that
Festival
emotion.
Hall gig?
What's that one?
Was that the Festival Hall gig?
No, this one was the Queensland Refectory.
Oh, okay.
It was pretty early. I did go to the Festival Hall gig, but that was something totally different. But this was just really strangely raw music. Like, I haven't really heard much like it since. It was just quite impressionable.
I saw him when he got put into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
and this was only the last couple of years. He's not changed one little bit.
Wow.
He's still got his hair the same way. Yeah, a bit bigger. Actually, did you hear Susie and the Banshees have gotten back together?
Yeah, I've seen some of that. It's a little bit sad, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That stuff's a young person's game, really.
Yeah.
Some people still do it, but
Who's that, man? Tell me one. Hang on, we should be able to find one of these old rockers.
Look, bands like Radio Birdman is still as hard as concrete. But yeah, a lot of stuff you just go, don't reform. I think that's the problem. Bands sort of came to Australia either because they were breaking up and, we just saw them too late and their hearts weren't in it. And I've just seen too many great bands who I've gone, I wish I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Your attitude towards AC/DC then, bro?
Oh, look, I haven't bought an AC/DC record since
Bon died.
Well, yeah, I don't own any Brian Johnson. Oh no, I do. I have a copy of Back in Black. I lie.
Yeah, sure.
But,
well, yeah, I think any fan of AC/DC that really stopped listening after Bond died, I think everyone got Back in Black to see what what he had coming, And
I think visually it's a little bit you can get beyond it visually, and I think that's what's happened to AC/DC. Like, you'll bring the wheelchairs out next, and then that would go pretty well with the on stage look.
Yeah. Well, how would the Descendants be, kind of thing?
Yeah, they'd have to be well into their 60s. They're another band, it's like, I know they're out here maybe at the moment, and you see that they're playing and you go, oh, wow, the Descendants. But then you stop and think, and it's like, I'm sure they're still great, but...
Yeah, I think it's just Bill and Milo, original members.
I think it's pretty. I think Carl Alvarez is playing, and probably Steve Egerton, who was in All. I think he's playing guitar with them.
Yep.
So it's kind of close enough to the original lineup. But again, I just, good on them. Great. I'm sure they're good and they're enjoying it, but I don't know. I don't feel the need to see it.
Yeah. I'm only going to go there to see Nursery Crimes, to be quite honest.
Right. Oh, okay. They're supporting them, are they?
Yeah. Yeah. Getting back together just for a support. the sentence, which is good. But hey, what was the first album you bought? Do you remember?
First album I bought was first album I wanted, I think, was 30 Deeds. But for some reason, no one would buy that for me. The first record I bought was Ego's Not a Dirty Word by the Skyhooks.
Yeah. Wow.
75 or something, I think that came out.
Yeah, I can't really remember my first one. I know Never Mind the Bollocks and The Clash first one and Van Halen one were pretty early on. I remember going to the shops and I always used to look out for those EPs. Like I bought Jimi Hendrix All Along the Watchtower, and on the other side it had Gloria. It was just like 2 songs. And the City Boys had this yellow EP that was really good, but they were like $3.99 each. And so I was always hanging out waiting for these EPs to come out, but they're always like killer. Like those 2 records now, I think like they're massive. I can't actually find them now, but someone's got them.
Yeah.
What
was back when the Splatterheads were at their hype? What was your favorite venue that you played, that you loved playing at?
Probably the Barwon Club was always a standout in Geelong. Just such great gigs, great hospitality as well from the venue owners.
But the whole people down there seemed to be kind of close, which was kind of...
because it was often with Board or someone like that, you know, which were always a highlight.
Yeah, 100%.
But in Sydney, you know, the Trade probably was always, you know, that was such an amazing venue. And that the closing of the Trade really seemed to coincide with the arse dropping out of the Sydney music scene.
And the gaming machines coming in and infiltrating the city.
Yeah.
It was all around the same time.
Yeah, it was around the same time. The ridiculous sort of fire restrictions and things like that. You had to have X amount of toilets for however many people were coming in, and venues were just going, well, fuck, we can't afford to, you know, do that. But it was, I think with the Trade, it was just because it was open so late, and you would go somewhere and just everyone ended up back at the Trade after midnight. And, you know, it was open till 6. Bands played on the first floor till like 3 o'clock or something stupid. So, you know, it just, the whole sort of community spirit of the scene kind of dropped away when that shut.
Yeah, I remember seeing his on the Gold Coast at the Kira Hotel with Way Cool Jr. I think it was Terry. Hey?
Sorry, so keep going. At the Kira.
It was Terry from Lizard Kings. He started putting on bands at the Kira Hotel just so he could. Just so he had a place to play. Yeah, but I remember. Do you remember Way Cool Jr.?
Not specifically. No, there's a lot that's a bit hazy, I must admit. But it was always weird playing at the coast. You just seemed to play there because you kind of had to. I don't remember the shows ever being, you know, amazing there. But you just couldn't come to play in Brisbane and go. So you played, you know, we played some shows at Toowoomba and Lismore, and most of them were pretty bad. But that's, you know, that could be our fault as well. But But yeah, I
Yep.
certainly remember doing shows at the Gold Coast. But yeah, I can't, that particular one, I don't specifically remember. Was there something about it, or?
Oh, no, it was just, it was probably one of the best times I ever saw you play. Yeah. That was my highlight of the Splatterheads.
Right. Okay. Great. Yeah. Look, it doesn't. I think we didn't sort of care if there was 1 or 100 or 1,000 people there. You just did it.
Yeah. What's your favorite genre of music?
Well, seeing I just lauded that post-punk era, I guess it's that. But there's great. I'm listening to more sort of jazz and stuff like that. I think all of those guys were the original punks. They were playing music that was derided and despised. Lots of, the black people playing it, and that, was not a thing that was accepted, and they're all drunks and junkies, and so a lot of that comes through in the music. So it's great to sort of hear that from the back in the 50s, to actually go, wow, okay, these guys are rebels.
Yeah.
But the same with blues, stuff like that. Good sort of good funk bands, and bands like the Meters and all that. That's just timeless stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I couldn't really just have one genre that I stick to. It's depends how I feel when I wake up, what goes on the stereo. So
yeah. Is there a genre that you just can't listen to?
Look, techno stuff like that just does my head in. But maybe there's some good stuff that I haven't heard, but
yeah. Next.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of similar in a way. I would classify it as cool. So it's kind of jazzy stuff that's not jumping down your throat. It's just kind of like sitting back. You can do anything to it, but it's it's just kind of cool stuff. It's just got this vibe and kind of laid back feel that I kind of like, but it's hard to put a finger on it, because a lot of different things sort of like jump in there and personify it. But
Yep.
I think that's pretty it.
That's it.
Jimmy Smith is still pretty cool, so I like that. And there's a lot of soul stuff that kind of sits in there, and blues, but it's just kind of got that feel about it, which I kind of like.
And the genre that you just can't listen to, have you got one?
Wow, that's interesting. I mean, death metal to techno. But see, even electronic music, they can come up with this feel, that cool feel that I'm talking about. So it's totally electronic, but it's got this really cool vibe to it. So yeah, then I'm kind of right in. But especially working, if I've got to hear a kick drum like pounding at me all the time, like metal or something like that, well then I can't really work with it. I'd rather not listen to it. So I kind of still one. I think that's an age thing, like just trying to chill out rather than anything else. Because if you get into the music, it's quite technical, and there's a lot in it, like Tool and stuff like that. It's quite good. But I don't gravitate towards it.
Yeah. Has there been a time in your career, I would say, that you've thought, fuck this is not for me, I'm not into this shit? Have you had that moment?
No,
I'll let number one go first.
no, not at all. I mean, it's still, I mean, I didn't play for a while, but that was because I was just stuffed, you know. Around when I left the band, I just kind of, it was more just limping away from the whole thing. But, you know, you still love music. I just couldn't, you know, play it for a while there.
Fair enough.
Well, on my side, it was interesting. I got forced away from it. Like I've always been in a situation, even in the Splatterheads, where I was mixing bands live. I was making records at River Sound, and I was playing live. So it's pretty much like a big stress on me. But I go over to UK and recorded this band at Abbey Road, and I was mixing it at work. And then just the next day, just my ears couldn't handle anymore. So like I was just had like sore ears. So I'd go away. If I went to the beach or something, I'd be totally fine, just be like a normal person. Go in the city, cars and stuff would just like kill me. So it was pretty hard because it was taking away my whole livelihood, my passion, what I like doing. Guitar. I actually sold my guitar, which I kind of regret now because, you know, I'm actually playing again now. But yeah, so my whole world was taken away from me. But it actually was a benefit because I kind of settled down, I had a family, found my spiritual side. So yeah, it was kind of cool. But so now I've come back around and come back into it. That would have been, you know, like years in the making, 4 or 5 years.
Yep. As you said, you've got kids. Do you let them listen to the Splatterheads?
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I never really pointed them and say, sit in front of this record. But yeah, they know where I've been. You know what I mean? Like it's always there for them, but I haven't sort of forced them to listen to it. I don't even know who's heard it. So, you know, they come, the ones in Brisbane come to our gigs and stuff. So because myself and Mickey are in a band called the Manor Rays, so they hear us and come out. Yeah.
I've actually sent them messages trying to get an interview.
Oh, really? That must be that email I never actually looked into. I only go in there and say hello to you, Matt, and say, yeah, we're keen to talk. So that's cool. Yeah. Nice one.
We'll have to do that at another time. So have you ever been on a bill that you really had no place to be on? You know, like, for example, Sex Pistols playing in Texas in front of a bunch of cowboys, kind of thing.
That was good publicity for him, though. That's a pretty iconic gig. But yeah, I can't think of any, but Mickey's played a lot more shows in the Splatterheads than me, so he might have found one.
No. I mean, there's been shows maybe sort of early on, you know, we would do just about anything, you know, and we did sort of step in for bands at the last minute that kind of pulled out, and we just go, yeah, we'll play. And then you get there and it's like, what the fuck are we doing here, you know?
Yeah.
But in terms of bills, no, because it tends to be, you know, it was always stuff that, I mean, we kind of tried to get people to manage us and shit like that, but most of the stuff we ended up doing ourselves. We did have managers, I guess, from time to time, but, you know, they were just friends who kind of stepped in and tried to wrangle us, which was usually unsuccessful. So most of the time, yeah, we were kind of in charge of stuff. So there was not really bills, you know, per se, where it was like, why the fuck are we playing with these people for? So we would just go no, or people just wouldn't ask us. That was often more of a salient point than I think there was, we had a bit of a probably reputation that people weren't gonna sort of invite us to too many things that weren't our own things. So
oh mate, you put on great shows. Yeah. It was always a fucking great night watching
were
this
you
play.
in Sydney around that time, Matt?
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah.
I used to live on Cleveland Street, in a 3-story squat on Cleveland Street, and
Up towards City Road end.
yeah, I can't
Right.
remember the name of the guy. You made a song about him. He had a room there, Tim, or he ended up ODing and died. He passed away.
Right.
What
Okay.
was he?
Yeah. That was quite the whole Cleveland Street thing was pretty insane there.
Yeah.
Just so many. Well, that Cleveland Street album that came out, just within less than a kilometre you just wander up and down Cleveland Street and there was just doors to knock on of, doors that were just open, and it was an amazing time.
I think it was every Monday, the Rock Against Work at the Hopetown.
The Hopetown Tuesdays.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was in the scene, living there from 84 to I think 90.
Right.
I was living in Surrey Hills.
Are you the same age as us, Matt?
1970.
1970. I'm 63, so that's a bit different.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I got 5
older than me. Yeah. But I did start young. I used to go to the playroom when I was 14.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
On the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Right.
I've actually got a Besser brick from when they pulled the place down.
Nice job.
Yeah.
Is it in your garden?
And I was drunk one night a couple of months ago, and I don't remember doing it, but I got in the mail a singlet saying playroom, and it had a picture of the play. Oh, I should have brought it out. And it had a picture of the playroom and the phone number underneath. I don't know. I can't remember even ordering this this fucking singlet, but I've got it, and it's kind of like framed.
Right. Yeah, the old late night purchase.
Oh mate, I think I lost my virginity in that place, actually.
Hopefully not in it, at least out the back.
Yeah. No, it was on the beach, on the creek there. You were given the opportunity, right, to put on a 5 bill gig. Who would be your dream bands that you would actually put on that bill?
One hits me, hey, because when I was a kid, I think it must have been 15 or something, the Brisbane City Council used to put on these free concerts. I went to 2. The first one I went to was Thin Lizzy, and there's a fair few good supports, but I opened up with all this fog, and through the fog you see these like red and blue lights coming through, and then Thin Lizzy opened up with Jailbreak through this, and it's just like, well, it's just wild. And then the other one was Cold Chisel with the Sports supporting them, and they were on a barge on the Brisbane River, and everyone was just hanging out at New Farm Park watching these bands. But those two gigs are just like amazing, man. If I could recreate that, that'd be good. Put them all together.
Yeah. I used to love the Triple Z market days they used to have up there in Brisbane in car parks. I remember seeing them one in a 3-story car park.
Yeah.
They set up there. Yeah.
I mean, Cloudland was pretty good with the spring floor. I saw Clash's last concert there, but like Razor and all these other ones before that, just like that whole floor just going up and down while everyone's pogoing. Like, it wasn't designed for that. It's designed for ballroom dancing, but it was just the most amazing pogo floor that you could ever imagine. You know what I mean? Like, really special.
Like the Jet Club on the Gold Coast, the dance floor was mirrors.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to see
springs under the floorboard. So imagine jumping in time. It's like crazy, man. It's really good.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, it was insane. And some turkey bulldozed it down.
Yeah, that was criminal what they did there.
Yeah, as well.
We've lost a lot of good venues. The Patch, Currumbin Hotel. I used to see some great bands there. I remember seeing Chain there, actually.
That'd be cool.
So the 5 bands, who would they be?
I've given you my 5, so it's over to Mickey.
Well, they'd just be bands that I wish I could go back into bloody time and see, really. Imagine seeing like the Hendrix Experience, Bad Brains, I think would have been insane to see back in the day. Throw them in. That's 2. Geez, I've got to come up with another 3, do I?
There's a few around, man. You do all right.
No one ever says themselves. No one ever says, us.
Oh, well, if we were on the bill, you'd be playing first, so you could get it out of the way and then just
enjoy the night.
Not worry about it. That was the trouble with headlining things. By the time it came your turn to play, usually you were not in great position to pull it off. But it's a fine line. So which is a nice way of avoiding the other couple of bands that I never got around to mentioning. But
have you got a memorable gig you've played?
Definitely. I think my memorable gig, I think it was in Sydney. It might have been a City Hall, but it was with MC5. Not MC5, it was in SC5. And that gig, I mean, I think it was that band, SC5, that really kind of made the night for me. It was just such a good place to be amongst good people, and the music was just great. Like, we played well, but they played better. So that was kind of cool. That was quite memorable.
Yeah, definitely.
Memorable. Geez. Couple of shows at the Prince of Wales in Melbourne was pretty insane. I remember we played one show there. I think it was like Hoss, Powder Monkeys, Venom Peace Stinger, us and the Psychos played. It was just insane. It was almost a shame to have to play. But the Barwon Club gig, there was one, we did actually a show at the Petersham, which was memorable for other reasons. It was like a Christmas or New Year's Eve or something, and there'd been something on before us, and they all got kicked out, and we went into the back room, and they were all hanging around out the front, and they kind of stormed into the back room, and this massive fight broke out. There was bar stools and pool cues and bottles being smashed on the wall behind us, and I think the riot squad turned. I've never been so pleased to see the riot squad in my life, because we were
in the middle.
Get out, there's only one door in, and that all these people were just coming in and throwing shit, and that was pretty memorable, but not for good reasons.
Yeah, doesn't sound like it.
No, lots of people ended up in hospital. It was pretty mad.
Mm. Do you remember playing at the Lansdowne one night, and after you guys had finished, this big Maori guy started dropping people, just bang, 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 and it was actually a couple of girls that ended up flogging him, but then the cops were called. Dave, blonde dreads, was working behind the bar. Dave from
D-Roth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was when he was working behind the bar there.
I don't specifically remember that, but it wouldn't surprise me.
And then the cops turned up, and he straight away went, "Yeah, got me," and like it all stopped. It was like, fuck. Like, people were jumping over the bar and everything to get away from this guy. He was just dropping bang, 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 and then just went extremely mellow as soon as the police walked through.
Came to his senses.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I mean, that is a shame. There was often a lot of violence and stuff, but usually from outsiders. That was one of the good things I think about the scene, was it was pretty mellow. Often no security, bouncers, nothing like that back then. So
I saw you at a couple of house parties too that you played back then.
There was some memorable parties that we played. They weren't, where was that? They weren't the Fast Street ones, were they? The Marrickville?
Maybe. It was kind of blurry, that era, but if you were asked to do the score of a movie, what genre movie would you like to do?
Well, a punk one would be easiest, but a big band one would be better. But you mean what genre of film? I like those art house ones. Yeah, I mean, they're a little bit to the side. They're pretty cool.
Yeah. Noir. Something a bit mysterious.
Yeah.
What was your favorite Splatterhead song? What?
It looks like we got some incoming by the look of it.
Yeah, they're coming in. Hey, we got you.
Hey.
There he is. God, we're getting old.
Cheers, Matt.
Yeah,
That's the lead
I'm going to share this drink with you.
yeah, I'm sharing a drink too.
Yeah. No, does that count? I don't think that's inherent in the sharing the drink.
You know me, Sly. Keep
Too fast.
Hang on, I'm trying to get a wide angle. You might need to move
both
in
together.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
you've got to
sorry.
get it
Okay. I'll
closer.
come in on yours. Look, I'm everywhere.
That's
Can
cool.
we make us bigger and you smaller?
No.
Oh, if you
Why
see
don't
it a
you
bit
go 1
closer,
inch?
if you sit closer,
All right.
every time we're not going to see you unless you're
I'll
talking.
close mine.
Oh, I've been doing all this shit and you've been. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
That's
Like
easier.
sharing a wife.
There you go. Oh,
You've been together that long.
So we've only
Leave,
got half
leave.
your face, Fly.
What was that?
leave meeting.
You've only got half your face.
Off my face, yeah.
Half of it.
Half of your face. There it is. That's all your
Oh, I
face.
fell off.
Drag him over. That's it. Keep looking after him.
Did you think I was hiding a rosacea birthmark or something?
Fly, do you remember playing with Way Cool Jr. at the Kira Hotel on the Gold Coast?
I think, and I
That's
had
a trick question.
I think we played with midget.
Okay.
You call them small people.
Yeah, oh, yeah. No, we could. Yeah, it was one of those. Well, I think you remember that because you mentioned Leone,
Yep.
and after the gig, we went on a 5-hour drive into the fucking hinterlands to try and get a bag of pot with
That's
Leone.
right.
And
Remember
it
that.
took for fucking hours.
For medicinal purposes only.
Yeah,
And then we
well,
had a campfire or something out in the hills.
Yeah, no, you went down to because when she got home the next day, because we were together at the time. When she got home the next day, you went out to just past Mawullumbar, Yukai, I think.
Oh, I'm remembering that. Do you remember that?
oh, and
Yeah.
that bush gig.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
We had a mixer with us, didn't we?
Yeah, we had Dave Malley,
Very
pork pie. We had the Hoodoo Gurus mixer with us, and we turned up to this caravan on this property,
on a hippie commune.
and her name
Up a hill.
was Brit.
Brit. God, you've got a good memory.
Fuck, I have got a good memory.
Dave Melly had smelly feet. I remember that.
But he had a great hat. You can get away with a bit with a good hat.
He was good with mixers.
Yeah, and he had some great dirt on the Hoodoo Gurus.
Oh yeah.
Hilarious.
It's good to see the victims are playing soon.
Who? The victims? Yeah, fuck yeah. I'm so glad Ray's involved.
I refuse to be a victim.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll have to send that to Ray. Oh, Ray, you're always such a victim.
Still a victim?
Ray Arn, always a victim.
Yeah, they played down here in Wollongong not long ago. Nunchuck a Fly.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Ray. Well, we're talking about Ray, aren't we?
Yeah.
I've actually got them for an interview, but they keep fucking rescheduling.
They're a good band.
Talking about.
But I don't know about the Tim thing, but I just don't.
It makes sense. It makes sense coming from where they came from after the whole cash catastrophe.
Oh,
That was
so embarrassing.
It's like been seeing that one coming for about 30 years, but
saw more than I wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a big one, that's for sure.
Yeah,
He's got a nunchucker.
Yeah, big problem.
Nunchucker. Do a fight. Not for you.
No.
Tiny head.
Fucking big lightsaber. Changing colours.
But
I'd like to see that.
I think Tim Tim loved the idea of getting back down to kind of grassroots to reestablish a bit of street cred or something.
Yeah.
And they had a really fucking good time. They're really great touring mates. And it was a really positive thing for all of them. As for the fans of the music, the Hard-Ons have been like that their whole career. One record, you know, I remember buying an album and going, fuck, this is really great. Next album, I'm going, I can't even listen to some of this. But I love that about the Hard-Ons. Every record's been, they follow their own thing.
Yeah. And if you've listened to their stuff now, they're not sexist anymore. You know, they don't talk about.
We got the cure.
Yeah.
I'm cured.
Yeah, I know. We're just in a band called the Hard-Ons.
Maybe.
Yeah. They used to actually, I remember, because I lived in Palm Beach for a while on the Gold Coast, and they were playing at the.
I'm sorry to hear that, mate.
I forgive myself. They were playing at the Playroom, and the Playroom had it written up, the hard ones.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's
And
amazing the difference a vowel will make.
I'd like to see it in a game of charades. You'd have to tell the difference between the hard ones and the real thing. Game of charades. Big. Stretch it out.
Okay, we've got to catch up, you two. What did your parents subject you to music-wise when you were growing up?
Education was awful.
They hid everything from me, but I was an inquisitive little arsehole. And I found a 45 single of Jerry Lee Lewis doing Great Balls of Fire and Mean Woman Blues on the B-side. And that elicited a very strange physical reaction in my 5-year-old body. And when I was 11, I was confronted by the awful reality that I was not able to actually grow up and be Susie Quattro. It was more my older brother. Like a lot of people, I had an older brother who was really switched on in the late 70s, early 80s, and I was 5 years his junior, and he was he would bring all of the X-Way Specs and the Rosillos and
Riff-raff, in other words.
and the Pistols and Buzzcocks, pardon me, and nice volley. He came to the net. So I was lucky. I've got to go out and let someone else speak.
He hasn't changed, has he?
See, I've got to squat down because I'm taller than him.
All right.
Right.
I thought I was out of the room.
So I'm just positioning myself to answer
The
questions. We're going to talk about you when you're not in the room.
Yeah. I'm always in the room. Can I just interrupt?
No. Oh, come on then.
Okay. Just on what you said, Matt, I feel absolutely fucking so disgraced to be an Australian at the moment, to be a white Australian at the moment. This is just the lowest point I didn't expect to see coming. I really didn't.
No.
I went to bed.
Slap in the face.
I went to bed last night, about 2.5 hours ago, with the most hollow, heavy heart that I've
That's true.
For you and your family, bro. It's like I know being a middle-aged white guy in this country, whether I think I'm having a bad time, I've had a fucking piss easy run. And I've known a lot of Koori and Murray people, and I don't know their experience, but I feel their experience and I see their experience. And yesterday's result was a fucking disgrace. Yeah. And we are once again, in the eyes of the world, this backwater, racist, fucking apartheid fuckhole, you know? I mean, I was shocked. First time I was in Germany on tour. Remember, we did some interviews, and we were shocked that these cats from these magazines, they would lead the interview with, "So, how does it feel coming from an apartheid country?" And we were going, "What? We're from Australia." And they would run through a litany of human rights abominations like death in custody, and well, we all know what they are. And it was the first time in my silly rock and roll brain that I had really gone, fucking hell, the whole world is looking at us completely for what we are. We're an imperialist, invading, fucking invasive democracy that has enslaved and subjugated the First Nations people. And this fucking result is
disappointing.
Heartbreaking.
This
was of the reality.
This was Germans asking you this, did you say?
Yeah, they're good at it, mate.
Yeah. I know. I know. And it was a good, and it's a well taken point, Mickey. Because unlike a lot of people that tour Germany, I grew up with the joke, you know, just don't talk about the war. But that's all I wanted to talk about with our age, because it was they were our peers and it was their parents and grandparents. Pretty woman.
Pretty woman.
Sorry.
I can't help myself.
I love a bit of Roy sneaking up on me. But
it's gold. It's classic.
It was really interesting, the German people's response, because I'd just say, so what about the fucking war? How do you guys feel knowing that kind of history is just a generation removed from where you are? I mean, there is kind of generational trauma in my family because of the Second World War, because my parents came from London firefighters and who were out in the Blitz, you know, and they all died. But it was almost like a rehearsed, scripted response that everyone gave me, and everyone said, we just have to make sure it doesn't happen again. And it's like, you're 20-something and you've got your ideals, but on another tour, we were driving around and our driver was an absolute dead ringer for Jimi Hendrix, this guy, Jeff. African American dude. And he needed this cream to comb his fro with. And I went into a chemist with him, an apotheke, as they say in the local lingo.
Sounds appetizing.
Yeah. But he had to go and say I heard him say to the pharmacist he wanted some of Naga creme. And I went, did you just ask for nigger cream? And he said, yeah,
Black.
yeah. This is, yeah. And we would stop at the side of the road and ask little old, nice looking German people with dead eyes, like directions, and they wouldn't even look at Jeff.
We weren't even in Germany at the time.
Yeah. That was on our way to Sydney Airport. No, but
I got married in Germany, then woke up in Switzerland and got divorced.
Yeah, well, but it was like the racism there was. I'm not saying our generation or the one below us now holds to any of that stuff, but it was still in the atmosphere like a fucking fog. I mean, going through the town of Dachau, when you realise where the murder factory, the concentration camp was, a huge facility, and they were one of the more efficient at exterminating Jewish people. They always held, we didn't know what the higher ups of the Nazi party were doing, but that fucking train line goes right through the centre of town, and we're talking about cattle trains like a mile long full of screaming fucking women and children, and for anyone to say they didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Well, that was light.
Yeah. I'm glad you thought that was funny. Yeah, I know a few other.
It's all in the telly.
Yeah, I know. I know a few other hilarious genocidal jokes.
Maybe they thought it was a ride at the Echo or something.
Yeah. Well, we want to know where they're going. They seem to be having a great time. Yeah. Where are you going, Mickey?
I'm having a dart.
Well, I don't smoke. What am I going to do?
His commitment to the game of darts is bullseye, old son.
I'll put Miss in the seat.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank fuck he's out of the room.
Silly cigarettes, are you?
Mickey's such a pain in the ass.
I'm glad you two came to the party. It's definitely very lively now.
Yeah, what's been happening, Adrian? You've just turned really old.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for you two to finish your album so I come along and lay some guitar on it.
We're still in the developmental sort of concepts.
I love that. That's great.
Yeah, I've got to go and spend a bit of time in a developmental asylum.
Sly is the IT, department. Is all over there.
I'm the it guy.
Oh, nice.
So, have you guys like broken up? Like, are you going to do a reunion tour or something?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I'm not telling you.
Not unless someone gives us a shitload of money, like at least $20 each.
And to do that, we've got to put out a fucking record.
I know. You feel like you're going backwards to go forwards.
And we've got shit. Well, there's absolutely shitloads of songs to draw on, but I think Splatterheads was of a time, and we thrashed the shit out of it. We had that incredible time.
We're sort of a Sydney band, but we've all moved back to Brisbane. Even Peter, who just passed, came back to Queensland.
Well, he's never going back. Yeah, can we actually raise a toast to PT?
Poontang.
Yeah, Poontang Thompson, who was there when the whips were cracking,
anyway,
an originator.
We're all back in Queensland again, like Mickey, Adrian, me, Sly, and
I remember.
It's a weird thing, but it's sort of like a cycle. Yeah, go ahead.
I remember all the Brisbane bands and everything. Like, I went to Sydney kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
Had to.
Like we used to always present ourselves as a band from Sydney. So, but we weren't really. None of us were.
Yeah, because everyone in Sydney went, "Well, you come from Brisbane."
There's a real cultural exchange between Brisbane and Sydney with bands because it's the closest city, I suppose. You know, so you've got to play Sydney.
And they were kind of amazed because Queensland, being the oppressive, like totally police state oppressive society. I mean,
not now, by the way. Not so much anyway.
Yeah, even though 70% of Queensland voted fucking no, so we'll see.
Oh yeah.
Watch this space. But there was an incredible creative undercurrent in that oppressive environment. So everyone that hit Sydney from Brisbane was just fucking raring
full of
to
energy.
go.
Yeah, that is the energy of liberation.
yeah, kind of.
Yeah. And I used to hitchhike to Sydney, you know, back in the 80s. And it was all right. You could do it then. That was
until
good.
You and your mate Ivan screwed up and didn't bury them deep enough in the forest.
Oh, we did. We buried them pretty deep in. You know,
what was left of them?
Yeah, finished that job. So that has an impact on the music, I guess. And there's music coming out of us now, and we're getting it down on tape and just see what happens.
That was pretty cool. We could get together for a jam. Simon plays bass, so you know we're like
this afternoon.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. Do you want to? Yeah, we should get a space, maybe, like get a practice room or something.
Do it in space.
In space,
yeah.
No gravity. I find it easier to play guitar with no gravity.
Absolutely, no guitar straps.
It's almost a spiritual experience.
Yeah, it's like playing guitar, floating through the air.
I think Sly's having a spiritual experience with my maiden right now.
Oh, have you got a maiden? I'm coming around and reading your books.
Yes, it's almost as nice as my little Yamaha, Adrian.
Oh, that's a cool guitar. I love that.
That is a cool guitar. I owe Adrian for that guitar. That was gifted to me by Adrian, and it's
a bit of a dark horse. You gave me a Yamaha acoustic.
He gave someone else a Yamaha.
And Richard, I just love that model. But I gave it to you for singing on the Mana Rays album, which means I owe Christo something. Oh, but anyway.
Another Yamaha, that'll do.
Yeah.
No, they're good. They're good guitars. You can just pick a broken one or an old one, and for not much money, and fix them up. Yamaha, good brand, reliable. Not as beautiful as the Maiden, of course, but
of course,
good workhorse.
When did you buy your Maiden? Just for interest.
Yeah, it's a great little thing.
When did you get it?
Queensland Walnut. I bought it at a guitar shop.
Can you see it?
Oh, is that it? Yeah.
Picked it up and played it and just bought it on the spot.
Right. Okay, I need your voice on it there, Simon. Give us a song.
Sounds beautiful.
Nice resonance, yeah. It fills the room nicely.
Tell him to sing me something.
What?
Tell Simon to sing me something.
I'm trying to sing something. Go ahead. You're the singer. You're the singer, mate.
Something.
Was it something I said?
Cool.
What about you, Adrian? What are you doing with musically besides the Mana Rays? Just you look like you got a studio there.
What am I doing? Just working like a dog. Working like a dog, mate.
Oh, working like a dog.
Yeah.
You salty dog.
Yeah, that's it. Working like a dog.
Got to get that money, you know.
Yeah, that's
Somebody's got to do it. No, it's just. What are you taking on clients at the home studio?
Oh, just Tim Brennan, but I think the Mana Rays are going to record a new album in the new year, so we've got a keyboard player, so we're just getting all that
Good. Oh, that'll be great.
It'll take a couple of months to integrate, and then we can put a few things down.
Plectrum,
Fuck, I love the way you're organised these days, man.
fat ones and thin ones.
Yeah, nice. Oh, that's a fatty.
Well, I'll tell you, the process at the moment is to demo our songs, the new songs, and then see what happens.
Cool.
So that's what we're doing. Now he's gone. I can see him in the back behind me there.
He sounds better back there.
Yeah. Yeah. What you mean is the microphone picks it up better from back there.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, keep him back there.
All right.
Next question, Matt.
Okay. Unless I retreat and go back to the start.
Go ahead.
With the two new people. What's on your stereo at the moment?
ZZ Top.
Yeah, ZZ Top.
Mickey helped me get my vinyl setup going. Like I had a few bits and pieces and bought some more, and I've got the vinyl set up now. So that's where I'm at with listening to music. I'm generally listening to vinyl, which I didn't think I'd be this obsessed, but I've become obsessed with it.
Oh, mate, same.
It sounds different. It sounds more analog.
Yeah, same. I'm obsessed with vinyl, but underpants.
I like a good mark.
They don't sound too good, but you get a bit of a funk on in this sweaty weather.
And yeah,
I remember Adrian wearing leather underpants with
yoga pants
with fishnet stockings.
I remember that. Some Greek guy came out from a restaurant and tried to belt me up.
Oh yeah, the Turkish pizza shop, I think it was.
Yeah, that's right. Then I had black eye for a week or something.
I remember that.
Thankfully, I don't remember that.
Those people invited me into their family. They felt so sorry for me.
He gave you a black eye, didn't he, Adrian? That guy?
Yeah. That was kind of good.
Why?
Wearing that around because my fishnet says, "You insult my mother." And then
he was insulted by the drag. He was in drag.
Well, Agent,
this
was at a time, I don't know if you remember this, but before I actually knew your name, I was standing at the bar at the Trade Union Club and I was about to be served, and all of a sudden it's like, ow! Someone just bit me on the ass. And
bloody Adrian.
I turned around and you were scurrying on your hands and knees through the crowd away from me.
I've had
and it was like, who was that man that just bit me on the ass? And you'd had two stubbies of Coopers, which means
there's a story behind that.
Go ahead. I always wanted
to. So when I was a kid, we used to go down the park and just hang out together, yeah. And I used to hang out with Paul Mangaday. And one day his brother comes down, Peter Mangaday, helmet guy, and came down and started biting everyone on the ass.
Helmet guy?
Yeah, that's him. So he started biting people on the ass, and I kind of must have inherited it and brought it
to Sydney. Got a taste for
it? Please go ahead, Adrian. Don't worry about him.
I need a helmet on my butt.
Right.
A helmet.
I just got to clarify something. I bite you on the butt without even knowing who you were.
Right.
But
that all makes sense.
Yeah, thanks for that. That's cleared a lot of stuff up. So I should have been wearing a stack hat on my ass.
I think you're missing something there.
I am sorry.
What's the moral?
That would have helped you.
Go to church.
I remember running into you, Sly, at
Oh, you've got my
oh,
lighter.
God. Hey, yeah. It was a New Year's Eve gig. You weren't playing. It was Bad
We
Ronald,
and around.
Hard-Ons and the Stupids at West City Club.
Great name for a band. I remember.
The Stupids were like England's version of the Hard-Ons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They brought out that album No Cheese, where they both played each other's songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, class acts.
They had some great titles. Surfing on Your Face. My Face.
Yeah. That was the only Blackie sang back then.
Oh, yes. The golden years.
As I said before, they've stopped the sexism now and all that sort of shit.
Sacking the drummer always helps, you know. If you're in a squad.
Yeah, so I think Cash had a lot of he put his hand in most of the songwriting back then.
Well, I was talking to Mickey about this the other week, and fortunately,
what did Mickey say?
He just sat there and stared at me like he's doing now.
Looked like you farted.
Disapprovingly.
Like you farted. Or
yeah, he's like my therapist.
No sense of humour. That's what I'm saying. Bloody drummers.
He's getting twinkle fingers.
You go on.
Keep going. I'm going to be back. I've got to go.
What are you going to use it against us later?
That means he's called the cat team. They're going to come in and. No, but
the Guitarists Against Drummers Association.
The great thing about, look, I remember doing so many shows with the Hard-Ons in like the late 80s, and they were really hitting the purple patch, and no pun intended.
Wow.
But
we've all been
Cash's influence on the music was fantastic, because they were doing that hard ass power pop with sweet melody hooks, you know, all that, like where did she come from, and All Set to Go. I mean, they were just you know, when they I don't know. I guess it's inherent in a band not to get locked into like the same old, and they change stuff up. But I thought there was a time I was going, you know, another couple of records and you guys are going to start putting shit out that's like rivaling Descendants and stuff, you know?
Yep, I felt that back then, yeah.
Yeah, and he was such a great fucking drummer and singer. It wasn't the same having him just out the front singing.
That's true.
It's
the old question about whether you keep going once the key members have left.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And when you say about they've dropped the sexist
They're all key members,
stuff,
by the way. Sorry.
Yeah.
I do mean that
though. They dropped the sexist stuff. Their response to Cash's well, they were alleged, as far as I'm aware. I'm not sure if they've been heard before court, so they're still alleged. I wouldn't want that shit alleged of me, because I think it's going to go badly for him. Because he wasn't very discreet. But their response to that was so swift and so absolute. Like, we absolutely deplore this, and we'll have none of that behaviour. Thank you. And I thought, wow, I mean, they really drew a line in the sand. And I think coming back to Timmy joining the band, I think that was really smart of them to take that step out of Hard On's history.
Yeah.
And the big fucking smudge that Cash had left on the band despite the music legacy.
And those tensions had been going before he left, I imagine. So
sure,
things like Nunchuck a Superfly were probably attempts to get out of that kind of regimented format.
Sure. And it was also an outlet for Ray and Blackie to indulge their metal kind of the really harder shit, you know.
Yeah. They went pretty deep for a while there, didn't they?
Yeah, new ground, you know, new material.
Yeah, look, and I absolutely respected them for it, but I couldn't listen to it enough to get to know it because it just wasn't really doing anything for me. I've been able to listen to the stuff with Tim a bit more, just because it's more relatable to me. I mean, I love heavy, discordant music, but there's not many bands that can pull it off with one guitar. Really heavy. I mean, the Melvins do a fucking job on it.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
You either have two guitars and sort of play off each other, or you have you got to work pretty hard.
You got to go the whole fucking whole.
Some people do very well.
Rancid do it pretty good.
Sorry?
Rancid do it pretty good.
Yeah. Well, good example. Yeah, absolutely. You've inspired me. I'll go and listen to my Rancid record after this. My vinyl collection.
Have you watched the it's on YouTube, the Rancid live in Germany?
Oh yeah.
And
right.
And Tim's pissed as
that is like yeah, well that's a good tip because it's often hard to find in the sea of all these different links and stuff. It's good to go to one in particular.
But Lars and Matt start playing St. Mary's, and Tim decides to play fucking Ruby Soho, and you can hear the sound man turning his guitar off, and then giving him another chance.
I've got to see that.
Oh, Tim, you see the way he plays it on stage. I wouldn't want to be hearing what's going out of it. He's all over the fucking joint, but he's putting on a show, you know.
Yeah.
You know, my favourite song, I think it's still, I mean, Rancid have, you know, they have put out so many fucking great records, but that it's not a very complex song, but that Spirit of 87 is just fucking one of the best choruses lyrically I've ever heard.
Yeah.
You know,
I totally agree.
I'm just
totally agree on that.
Oh, it's the chorus is Saturday, I'll sell you chemicals. There's no way that I'm gonna end up at the disco. Make my way to fist fights in stilettos. And rock and roll, rock and roll, rock and roll, and rock and roll, rock and roll. But it's just a story of them being young punks and trying to find somewhere to go.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a fucking great song.
Making songs out of life.
And I totally related to every word of that song, except it was happening to me about 7 years earlier than it was happening to them.
Yeah. Well, Filthy Mile was a soundtrack to my youth. Really,
way.
yeah.
Mine too.
I really fucking related to that song so much. Like it was fuck. This is
right.
This is
That's great to hear, man.
The angst or the romance or the what was
all
it?
of it.
Right.
Yeah. No, just and it was a fucking good song. It was.
Yeah.
You know, played well. It was great. You know,
That was the first song I wrote for
Splatterheads. Adrian.
You asked me last time we talked who wrote The Filthy Mile, and
you wrote words.
I wrote the words, and Sly wrote the music. That's I got completely wrong before, so. But it's one of those collaborations that we.
Yeah.
You know, same with me, Adrian and I. When you're thrown together and you've got to write some songs together, it's magical because it actually works. You're in your bedroom writing them yourself, and you can never quite finish them or make them come alive, and then suddenly you can with someone else. It's a great experience.
Hey, how do you think the internet's done for Australian music?
For searching what bands that you like, you mean?
Just putting music out. Like, because I heard on Spotify, someone listens to your song, you get 0.005 cents.
Yeah. It's
you know what I mean?
The financial deal isn't that great, but then I guess what it does is it encourages you to get on YouTube and make your own channel and start influencing people and getting something back that way, I think, which is
well, as I was saying earlier, my house was broken into and 15 crates of records were snapped in half.
Wow.
And, so I don't know if
your boyfriend.
I don't know if it was an ex-girlfriend or someone, I don't know. But
that's the weird romance jealousy thing. Is just it's very explosive. Yeah, a tinderbox of emotion.
The person obviously knew how much that meant to me. My music.
Yeah, it's a
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, listen to this. I just remembered it. Oh no, I didn't.
Oh, the Filthy Mile. We've just been living in King's Cross where he wrote it. New day dawn and I walk outside.
Yeah.
It's black and the birds all died.
Yeah.
This weekend we can't fall.
Don't wanna fall with
Something
you.
about you made me nothing at all.
Yeah.
And it's a
I can't remember the rest of it.
That was a fucking great song.
As long as you all finish together and start together, it sounds tight.
All the rest is jazz.
The crowds love it.
Yeah, no, that and Fish Biscuit are my fucking.
I love Fish Biscuit. Oh, the song, for sure.
Filthy Mile. Two of my favourite songs.
If you're not getting enough fibre, get Bot with Fish Biscuit on it.
Hey, mate. We're actually
good segue.
Releasing Bot on Trash Cult Records out of Geelong.
Okay.
A guy named Mick, just a little label.
One of 30 mix in my address book.
Yeah. You've got to send me the link so I can get that.
And we're keeping true to the. I mean, we're remastering it, but it's as far as the artwork goes, we're keeping it pretty much the same as the original. Maybe a little bit of a few tweaks. It's just the story behind Glenn Pierce, who did the artwork for Bot, was from Geelong. And he
I
was,
used to live in a squat with him on Cleveland
Right.
Street.
oh, wow.
So you know
Yeah.
Glenn.
Oh,
Yeah. Glenn, is that the guy that passed away?
no, you're talking about Glenn Ward.
Oh, Glenn.
Yeah.
Glenn Ward, fuck, really? Because he was one of my closest mates when he died.
Well, he was in the floor underneath my room.
Wow. That must have been just before you met him.
3-story squat.
Yeah.
And he had one big area of him. So he used to build fucking lamps out of
Yeah. I used to screen print with him.
He's a great guy.
Okay.
He was a screen printer by trade. But
Yeah.
anyway, Glenn Pierce was a 16-year-old who worked for a friend, John Nolan's sister, Kathy. He was a dish pig in the restaurant she managed. And she brought to the gig all these handbills that he'd just done in his spare time. And he found it. He's like, fuck, the Splatterheads dudes. I mean, he's 16.
Obsessed with drawing.
Yeah. And I got him to send me some stuff. And in amongst that stuff was
original drawings and paintings, or rolled up.
Yeah. Were these airbrushed, weird ass fucking pictures like what we used. And now the reason I want to celebrate him as well is because the fact that we did that for that young guy. He's now got a publishing deal. He writes comics. And his publisher's got like 29 of his books in America out. And he's doing really fucking well, And it's one of those joys to hear, that you do something that seems kind of small and
well, the original artwork that he sent us that we used for Bot, we want to double down on that because 20 years later, it stands up as good, iconic, representative artwork, original. And so we just want to double down on that and just change it slightly, but keep it the way it was, because it feels good.
Cover of that, you see something that you missed the time before.
Just the other day that happened.
And it never makes any more sense.
No, it doesn't. I just go, what is that? His tongue or his intestines, or is that blood or oil or sweat?
Yeah, I always thought of the figure on Bot as being in a sump. And it's like nice. Up to its neck in sump oil of some description.
40-degree Queensland heat.
Yeah. Well, or in Geelong, the Ford plant.
Ooh, nice.
But I was talking to Glenn the other day because I said to him, we'd like to change it up a little bit, but we're not going to fucking touch it.
No.
You fucking touch it because this is you in the 21st century.
Without written permission in 6 languages.
Yeah. And he's, he's absolutely
capable.
And stoked to do it. It's like you would know Pete Howlett from Adelaide Pro Tools. Pete the Star. Pro Tools and Blood Sucking Freaks and all the rest. When
a very generous soul.
Well, remember we started getting letters from him when he was 15 years old.
Which is excellent.
Well, and
long, weird letters.
Yeah, and it was kind of some of the first kind of fan mail we'd had.
It was very good quality fan mail.
Yeah, and he was saying, the first letter he wrote to you, I think, he was saying, I'm getting a band together because of you guys.
Yeah. We inspired him.
And then we go down the track and Pete is fucking Mr. Battleade. you know, and I love him with all my fucking heart. And and my heart goes to him as well. I mean, he's First Nations, fucking him and his sister. I love him to bits, and I feel like I need to ring up and personally apologise to everyone I know that it has an honest and fair and genetic.
It does feel like something
First Nations connection.
You can do something about it. Like you feel the energy to do something about it.
I feel so.
Make art
and maybe I'm being disingenuous. Maybe I'm just like, it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Oh, I'm embarrassed. I felt like I was naive and thinking, oh, it'll be right. It'll say yes, you know. Of course, it'll say yes. And then it was no this morning. It's like, oh, shit. I didn't. But of course, I was in denial.
Yeah, well, but I fell for the same thing. I thought,
a bit silly.
When you look at the people leading the no, I mean, the sad thing was Mundine, Lydia Thorpe, they're conservative people. Yeah, she's she's Indigenous, but she's fucking passionate, mate. I'd love her in my corner, in a blue. But, and I can see the argument those people are making. I can see it. The Indigenous no campaigners, because we're jumping a crucial step. It has to be treaty first. It has to be. Treaty should have happened when Rudd apologised.
Nah.
Because if he had put the wheels in motion then, we probably would just be signing a fucking a proper, fucking respectful and legal treaty with our First Nations people. It would have taken that long, but I can't believe we've gone backwards so badly. And the figurehead of the whole thing is fucking Dutton, who is one of Tony Abbott's proteges. Like with Morrison, we saw where that went. And now, of course, perfect evolution, corporate evolution, fucking Abbott is on the board of News Limited with the fucking Murdochs.
Yeah, crazy.
Well,
crazy.
They are the cunts that are in the face of the non-thinking Australian every fucking day. And they have influenced this fucking vote.
Yeah.
I want them all to die slowly of bladder cancer.
Yeah.
I only say that because it sounds nasty. Sorry. What's happening, Mickey?
Sorry, I was asleep.
Oh, it's about that time for your nap, isn't it? Have you been? What's your vinyl catch of the week?
Oh, haven't had one this week.
Fess up.
No, nothing's come this week. So, singles, singles.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you're gearing up for a big week next week.
Actually, I've got the couple of Tom Waits remasters on order.
Oh, and that's nothing?
Well, I just remembered.
Yeah, well,
Bone Machine and the Black Rider.
Oh, Bone Machine. Fuck. Wow. Yeah. Well, happy days.
When they get here. I've got a dodgy copy of it. A non non-legally binding copy of it, which never did it justice. It's one of those weird albums that came out in the mid-90s that
like bootleg,
limited vinyl run.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah,
just,
ones that may or may not have legal standing with the publisher.
That's correct.
Is Spot going to come out on vinyl?
Only vinyl.
Oh, magic.
Only vinyl.
Yeah, magic vinyl.
Because I also do album reviews, which we should do around the time that you're putting that out.
I agree. You should.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can even lie about it and say there's heaps of new stuff on it. You know,
you got to play it backwards to hear it, though.
Yeah, absolutely. To hear the actual message.
Yeah.
To understand what bot means. My bag, man.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, the meeting isn't until like 1:30, dude. Fuck. At least he didn't wear the white pointy mask. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
he's quiet, but he listens. He's a good listener. And he's good to take shopping with you. I always forget to take my bag into Woolies, you know, so.
Yeah.
And he's good to rob banks with. If you can find one with any fucking cash in it.
Yeah, well, that's right. That's exactly right. You Sly, what was your most with the Lompocs? What was your most memorable gig?
Probably one I can't remember.
Yeah.
Look, early days, I think when we first started we wanted to take doing something on stage and make a real fucking mess.
Sorry.
That's all right. And
all right.
we did a show at Sydney Uni or the other one.
I have photos.
And
Looks like Sydney Uni to me.
built a thick plastic cavity
Yes.
for Christo's stomach with a kind of an opening, a gaffed up opening, and packed it with offal.
On a white singlet. So.
Yeah, so I could actually stick a kitchen knife into his stomach and gut him and pull his guts out onto the stage. Yeah, that was fun.
Acid heads beware.
Yeah, and another one where it was around the same time where Christo made a...
Holy fuck.
Someone's got a real phone.
No. That's my fucking ex-wife.
My agent, by the way.
Yeah, it's
too much
complicated.
Always ringing up with work for me to do.
Yeah, work.
Work it out.
Yeah, you've been working too hard with my ex-missus.
I'll tell you what, TV is very lucrative. We were on TV once, but they didn't pay us.
I was just about to say, when you made a prosthetic penis.
I did.
And because we'd mastered the art of having a blood pump in the back pocket. So you run a tube, you have a reservoir of blood, and you smack your back pocket and blood. And Christo walks up to this little altar and gets this fucking ugly mangled cock out of his pants and then just hacks it and hits the blood pump. And
the energy we had those days.
I know, but
that took
the faces of the people.
It was worth it.
It was it was absolute gold. I mean,
we were sort of special effects nerds to some degree, but
absolutely.
Musicians first.
I used to buy Fangoria magazines.
Yep.
And Steve Carter's stuff.
Yeah. And there was a guy, a special effects guy named Tom Savini, who did all the who did all the Jason movies and all the early Friday the 13th. And
splatter porn.
But he wanted to do it, but there was no
money
facility for him to do it, so he was just making it up as he went along, finding bits of tube and how do I make blood flow and what's the mix to look like actual guts. And
how long does it have to last?
Yeah, he was a huge inspiration for me, because it's like this can be fucking done. You buy a little bottle of latex and you just paint it onto your throat, like layer upon layer, and then you can cut it and you've got this huge flappy fucking wound. It looks like skin.
I remember you doing that. And there's a great face for it too, like actor's face.
As I was saying to the other two before you guys came, I watched you one night at Trade Union with Red Planet Rockets, and it was a splatter gig. Adrian was in it.
You never knew when it was going to happen.
Leather undies and fucking
was that Adrian?
Covered in blood, condoms full of blood.
It sounds like you. All the hallmarks.
That's how I landed my interview in People magazine.
I ended up in hospital that night. I had a because I'd been awake for 4 or 5 days, and I had watching you guys. I had a fucking panic attack.
Sorry.
Oh, that is funny.
It was I ended up at St Vincent's Hotel Hospital.
Oh God.
St Vincent's Hospital. Fucking, I lost it, man.
We sent a few to hospital.
I love the way you attribute it to the show and not the fact that you were fucking high as a fucking kite on amphetamines for a week before.
Yeah.
Hey, it's like, pieces come together to make the machine work.
Yeah,
they do.
I'm glad we were there to help.
The world of splatter porn. Splatterheads.
And it has to be said.
What?
It has to be said that a lot of the time we did those shows, we'd been up for a fucking week as well.
We only ever had problems with people on acid. They didn't handle it that well, but everyone else was fine.
No, they wouldn't have. It not at all. Not at all.
Mixing the two.
Well, people on acid, and remember when we one of our first tours in Melbourne, we played at the Duke of Edinburgh.
The Duke of Edinburgh.
The Duke of Edinburgh in St Kilda, and we got about 3 songs in, and there was blood all over the ceiling. I mean, they banned us for life and charged us $300 before we even got off stage.
Nice.
For cleaning products.
Yeah,
that's right. Cleaning crew.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there was a guy named, do you remember a band called Crazy Legs Vermin?
Yeah,
Paul Cronkey, and the first Reformation Splatterheads did. Sorry, the second.
The third.
Yeah, well, the second Mattress played bass for us because PT was sick; he couldn't do it. And Matt, in fine style. I mean, Vale
also gone.
But the great thing about Matt passing was he was digging a trench had a heart attack and died.
Fell
And
into it.
he
Yeah.
dug his own fucking grave.
Yes. Wow.
He would have pissed himself.
Had to ring the council, see if we're allowed to take him out.
Yeah. But
Rest in peace.
doing a show with Crazy Legs Vermin, Cronky organised. He's lung this truck driver, a redback, who drove the bone truck.
Cronky the scientist.
That had all the spines and rib cages and straight from the abattoir. And we stitched together with wire all these fucking things, like a rib cage with a spine hanging off it. They look like alien meat fucking nightmares. And we had them hanging along the light rack at the Lansdowne, and
just another day at the office.
Yeah, the manager's going, no. I know you can't make a mess, but this is fucking. This is it's like, mate, we've got it covered. You know, everything's been sprayed in acrylic. We're just bullshitting. It was fucking stinky raw meat, and by the time we played, the fucking shit's starting to cook under the lights, and the whole place reeked. I mean, it was the most vile smell.
Yeah.
And they charged us like $400 for the cleanup, I think.
Oh my God.
Remember them? They could cook a bloody egg on them.
Yeah.
I think I really do think I was at that gig. I really do. It just sounds
an interesting little aside of Cronky, who played guitar in Crazy Legs Vermin. He was he's a complete brainiac. You know, he did a engineering degree very young. Was always
grow light specialist.
He was always, no matter how small the flat or the house he was living in, he would go, come and check this out. Roll up the rug, there'd be a trap door, and you would go into a subterranean growing room that he had going. But
all with low wattage bulbs, by the way.
Yeah, he invented this fucking system, this lighting system, and the way the shrouds maximize the output of the actual bulbs. And he did it at a time where hydroponics was just kicking off, and all of these growers from Netherlands, from he patented it, obviously. He made and still makes a fucking absolute mozza from his light growing systems.
Definitely.
Yeah, and his son Artie plays in Coffin
on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah, his son Artie plays guitar.
Not anymore.
Oh God.
Did.
Is he all right?
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened, but yeah, he's not on the new album.
Right.
Oh, ouch.
Got a new guitarist today.
Oh, no, I had like fucking 3 of them or something.
Right.
Oh, excess to requirement.
Yeah.
Underappreciated.
Oh, that's a
the
shame.
Revolving door.
Yeah.
I mean, I say it's a shame. I say it's a shame, not because of him, just because I thought, I know a young bloke who's doing well in a fucking. Turns out I don't.
I thought guitarists were getting their rights. We're going backwards here. The drummer and the bass player get together and kick us out. That's what happens.
No rights for the guitar. We're always being like.
No. There's too many of us. There's a glut.
Were you guys all in the splatter movies at the time?
Still am.
Yeah, same.
Good ones. Like, I don't like shit ones. Good ones are great. They really get me going, actually, with inspiring new stuff in me, because I'm adrenaline. I don't indulge in adrenaline except when I watch horror movies, like The Grudge or the latest Van Helsing and stuff like that.
Yeah, see, and it's really weird because in the 80s I was right into splatter movies, but I realised
We even like bad ones back then.
well, because it's like, how the fuck do you do that? Obviously, when you're filming it, there's a lot of opportunity to cut and retake and rah rah rah. But they, you know, I've never been a fan of this thing. Oh, you should see this movie. It's so bad, it's great. It's like, no, a shit movie is a fucking bad. Shit movie.
Thanks for warning me. I won't see that one yet.
Yeah, I'm really fucking fussy for continuity and storyline and all that shit. Yeah. But I love
cinematography.
Splatter that like shit like The Evil Dead. Yeah. Sam Raimi fucking, that was terrifying. The first one.
They had to make it a comedy just to put it out.
I know. It was a tragedy. The second one was stupid. The third one was, like I say, it was a flat out comedy. Yeah. I couldn't. I was insulted because I was just disappointed because the first one
didn't want a comedy.
was tense.
Groundbreakingly tense.
Yeah.
The remake was fucking brilliant too.
Oh, yeah, I saw that recently.
Came out a couple of years ago. Yeah,
almost as good. It's like still like the old original, but that was good. I must say, like that's an example of a good quality horror movie.
Yeah, but to preempt splatter movies, you go back to '60s. A director named Sam Peckinpah, who did westerns and fucking gangster movies. And he, every time there was a gunshot, he would make sure there was 4 or 5 squibs, and when someone gets shot, they get shot to fucking pieces. And apparently he was an absolute gas to work for, and really naughty and really good fun and all about it.
Breaking rules.
Yeah, breaking the fuck out of rules with a studio's money when someone else is paying the fucking bills.
Risk their money, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so
good rebellious thing to do.
Sam Peckinpah of the colour movie age from the 60s, he was probably and I could be, there's probably obscure European stuff I'm not aware of in my racist,
totally unaware of
in my racist white Australian cultural bubble.
Eurocentral.
But it's I think
centric.
I'm not centric anymore. I'm eccentric.
Centric.
I'm eccentric.
Eccentric.
So Sam Peckinpah, he was one of the godfathers. You know, liked hanging out with
me,
Roger Corman, and tried to influence Roger Corman. How can I know it's Attack of the 40-foot bimbo, but can't you write in a scene where her breasts get cut off? And it's like, no, Sam. You know.
We're going to make this PG. Not X.
Just be happy that there's 2 breasts that are bigger than 2 Lincoln Continentals.
Yeah. Didn't Peckinpah, he was the original director for the Magnificent Seven?
If you say so.
Magnificent, that's not Sergio Leone, is it?
No,
Magnificent Seven.
Japanese.
He did a lot of he did a lot of fucking Western stuff though.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna
look it up.
Yeah, I forgot my glasses.
Isn't it great? Google's mad. I love it.
Yeah, for shit like this.
It's it makes everything more immediate. And if you use it like a tool, it actually
argument straight away.
Straight away.
Yeah.
It's like no longer do you sit there wondering, or you do, and you don't
Oh, it's
bother.
on my mind. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Exactly. No, I'm into it. I must admit, love technology.
Yeah, I've only been on social media since 2019.
That's a late coming.
Yeah, and it was one of my daughters got me into it, and it was fantastic because, as I said, my records are broken in half.
Yeah,
So
all of them.
Yeah, I couldn't get.
I've had half a dozen or so broken by people, but all of them. That's a real blow.
Or whatever it was, broke all of them.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Oh, just very quickly, I had forgotten that Sam Peckinpah worked with Monty Python for a short film called Salad Days. Salad Days. It's fucking hilarious, man. It's like, it's typical English, Oxford, Cambridge types, badminton on the lawn, and someone hits a shuttlecock and it goes in a chick's eye and blood spurts. I mean, it's so fucking funny. I forgot that he was involved in that. Salad Days. Check it out. You got it. It's on YouTube.
I'll be looking that up.
Yeah.
As soon as we finish here, be back lying in bed watching that.
But
I'm gonna go to the toilet.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, at least he had the decency to go off camera.
How far is it?
I just went under the desk.
Oh, the dog's there. Matt's got a dog. That's cool.
Oh, where's Molly? Oh, look, he's talking about. Oh, not a dog here.
No, in Matt's view there.
So how's the studio going, man?
Yeah, it's cracking, man.
Is that your studio or is that work?
No, that's mine.
That's his studio. Yeah.
Right, so you're back here looking. You're okay. I can see.
And this is this tape machine.
Cam.
This tape machine you got here.
1 inch.
Yep.
To your right, that's a 1 inch tape, is it?
That one is a 1/4 inch for mastering, and then I've got the 2 inch over there for recording.
Right.
Because I've got all these 1/4 inch reels of
Masters.
Those live gigs we did at the GB.
Right, so somebody's gone back to front and used that to record on when you're supposed to master on it.
Well, we could tape over it. What I'm saying?
Live at the GBH, is it?
Yeah. 2 nights. So there's 4 tapes, 4 Ampex tapes.
Great.
Cool.
Well,
and Adrian, that Tascam.
it sounds like we could run them through your 1/4 inch system back into the system and
put them on digital.
maybe.
That Tascam.
Do a new mix.
That Tascam desk.
Yeah.
I had to pull it all apart again and do a super clean out because I just couldn't get rid of some crackles and I had to recalibrate a couple of the VUs. But once that's done, what I want to do is actually route the signal into the software.
Yeah, that's great.
And so like and tell me if this, I don't know if this would work. So for one vocal track, right, I record 4 separate vocals and 1 per channel and feed it those 4 channels into 1 track. So it gives a vocal track
handcrafted
and not in harmony, kind of differing in tonality and differing in maybe slight harmony, but just so that when you listen to it, in situ in the mix, you can't tell that it's 4 vocals melded into one, but it gives a real fucking richness, a real depth to the vocal.
Yeah, cool.
Yep.
So it'd have to be pretty tight to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. It would have to be faultless.
Tell me if I'm wrong, but that's what you're saying too, Adrian, isn't it? To go through this tape machine back in and do a digital mix of what's on the tape.
Well, I thought someone might want to have a listen to it, then you could just put it in machine, and then you got a digital version.
Yeah, and you might as well do a mix while you're at it, sort of thing.
Well, it's usually on 2-track. Like, it's not usually you don't have to muck around with it.
Just straight in.
Yeah,
with a little bit of EQ, maybe.
Yeah.
But you're not mastering at all. You just kick. Well, then you take it back the other way and master it, I guess.
Yeah, no, you're kind of mastering it from the original 1/4-inch into the digital domain, just making sure the EQ's right.
And making that then mixable or not.
Well, that's the finished product, really, if you've already got a recording.
I see. Well, that's a very similar idea.
Pretty easy.
And it's all just experimenting. So you put your mind in different ways of doing things in different places to get a result. That's all.
Well, you're absolutely right. And I've been thinking about this whilst I've been cleaning these components diligently and keeping in hyperbaric chambers before I put them all together again to make sure nothing can be contaminated. And I've got to replace a couple of pots and but but that was the beauty of what I was thinking of. Like Christo said, experimental. You know, remember the days when we'd sit in our bedroom and we'd have a cassette that you could record on and another cassette over there, and you would play what you recorded on guitar and record it with the other cassette and sing. So on this cassette, then you end up with guitar and vocals, and then you play that through the cassette and you can do a harmony vocal before the cassette got too muddy. But the experimental side of it, and
then graduating to a 4-track or an 8-track.
Because it's also digital. And it's also templated, and it's also scientifically kind of done for us so that it's pretty hard to get it wrong if you follow the instructions. In terms of the experimenting, this is where 4-tracks and stuff like that were so cool, because
especially 4-tracking onto a cassette.
And bouncing the tracks.
So relatable and easy to accessible for any idiot.
Remember when Tool brought out that album and it came with 3 CDs and you needed 3 CD players?
What?
And you had to have them all running concurrent to listen to the song.
Oh, I like it. It's a bit exclusive. A bit, you know.
I think
Who the fuck's got 3 CD players?
Yeah.
The record company must have gone.
Yeah, I got it. Then you have to play them in time. That'd be hard.
What's that, Adrian?
You'd have to play them in time. That's pretty hard.
Yeah. You got to press play on each one at the same time.
Yeah. And what was the point? Like, what was the result? The benefit? Nothing.
Maynard.
Well, the only thing is you can mix your own levels between them.
Right. Yeah.
So that's like seems like a lot of effort.
Yeah, in terms of sitting down, relaxing, and listening to a fucking record.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
Back at work.
Well, you know, when I put a record on, I usually get up and play with the EQ and sit down and get up again. And
3 times?
Fucking more.
I think some CD players you can sync them up by lead. Yeah, so when you hit one, they all go at once.
I've got at least 3 here. I'll try that sometime.
Hey, listen to this, Adrian. Tell me what you think. Okay, I found in an op shop it's a game on vinyl, and it's a horse racing game, right?
Yeah.
And what you do is from the 60s, and I used to play it with Persia when she was little. Just it's nice to get the kiddies into gambling, I think.
Yes, and animal cruelty.
So, but what it is, it's there are 3 races on each side of
Trifecta.
the vinyl, but you never know. The grooves are cut in.
Yeah, you know
between.
what
You know,
race
you
you're
never
gonna go
know
to.
the outcome.
Yeah.
So,
Sounds
like
a trifecta.
this is. I've always wanted to do it, to make an album.
Yeah, with 3
And
songs.
you never know what you're going to fucking listen to. It's obviously either one of 2 or 3 options. I don't know how much the sound quality would be compromised.
It doesn't have to. You just have to make it shorter. So the longer
Short songs.
Yeah, so it only holds so many grooves. So if you've got a long play and you only have like a third of the content, you can just run it. And long play goes for a fair while. What's that? 6 songs. So that means you could have a couple of songs on a long play and not lose any quality at all.
Yeah. And make a gambling game of it as well.
May as well.
Might be. Might as well. Yeah, keep that one in the back of your mind, because I know you're a thinking man, and I'm gonna follow that one through, and put out an album that no one can reliably listen to and know what the fuck they're gonna listen to.
Yeah, well, maybe just 2 parallel grooves and have like 3 songs. That'd be cool. On each side.
Got a White Flag album that's got three sides.
Oh, that's cool.
Stop it. Really?
Oh, it's done before. Okay, we'll do a different project.
So you just keep dropping the needle, and
Until you
sometimes
find
you
it.
get one.
Oh, I can see the
One
disappointment
side
in
and
his face.
I'm fucking crushed. I've been working on this for like 20 years.
Oh no.
No, I'll get some, there'll be something special.
Yeah, you still do it. It's cool.
Yeah, maybe just have 3 grooves and have absolutely nothing recorded
On one of them.
for the last minute, and you just say, you've been had. Hello?
Still here.
Yeah.
We're all here.
Yeah. But oh, damn, White Flag.
Yeah.
Is it a good? Is it an album I know?
It's not well, you would have heard it because it's mine, but
Yeah.
Has it got drawings by the same guy that does Black Flag on the front?
Raymond Pettibon.
No, it's got a
Girls dancing.
if I recall, it's got probably a parody. There.
Raymond Pettibon.
Oh, I see. Yes, there's a
Yeah.
difference, the irony of it.
Derek and Clive.
Yeah, it is. It's a Raymond Pettibon parody.
Oh.
Well, there you go. Subtle, very subtle, because I just assumed it was him. Yeah, I was young.
Yeah.
I was about 19 at the time.
So you know of this record?
Oh, I lived with Mickey a couple of times and know his record collection. Better than I know him, probably.
Yeah. Well,
Better than he knows himself.
Yeah. But not better than he knows his collection.
It was a
because I've gone round there whilst he's in the dunny. I'm going, oh, I've lifted the corner of a record. I haven't seen that one. And he comes back from the dunny, and I can see him looking all across the room.
Well,
You've been
yes.
fingering my albums.
It's a large part of my education is living with Mickey and having him play his records.
Oh, fucking love it.
Friday night, sharing a bottle of bourbon or whatever. And this is fucking so and so, and you know, I learned a lot of music that way. Before that, my influences were ABC, and that's about it. Countdown, Sounds Unlimited, or Night Moves.
Night Moves was great.
Yeah,
It was.
I
It
used to sneak out to the TV room when my parents were asleep to watch that.
Yeah, right.
11.
What was her name?
Was that? I
Tall,
always get them
skinny
mixed
woman
up.
with dark hair, strangely attractive to a 14-year-old boy.
Yeah.
I keep thinking Saskia, but she did the other one. No, don't know.
No. Okay. No.
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 Mickey says no.
I know. It sounds like I hit a nerve there.
No. Bloody drummers.
Absolutely not.
It's all right. We can edit that out, can't we, Matt?
Yes.
You have the right.
Oh, I've had one interview. A guy do a
Rockarina.
promo.
Rock Arena. Who could forget that?
Yeah, Rock Arena was great. And
It was.
Sunday's top
Fundamental.
40 on Triple R or something. They remember the top 40 they had every Sunday night on the radio?
What year are you talking about?
Oh God, early 80s, easy.
Yeah, see, but that predates me living in Melbourne. I was still in Brisbane.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
As were the other guys.
Well, Triple M and Triple Z were the two stations that I seemed to get. I probably got other ones, but I stuck with them, and they were there. They were there. I got limited. Well, Triple Z was excellent, and it still is.
Their market days. I used to love going to their market days. Triple Z.
And joint efforts and radiothon and
Absolutely, man. And Triple
huge.
Z has the best fucking story of any media broadcasting organisation. Do you guys remember we toured Brisbane and Triple Z? The government had shut its license down.
Oh yeah,
and
the caravan.
And they were pirate broadcasting. We would booked it for an interview, and
like this,
but without screens and any technology or organisation or anything. We met this guy in the fucking bush on a mountain.
That's right.
And we had to follow him around for about 2 hours before he decided we were kosher and we weren't fucking cops.
Were you blindfolded?
You were there, weren't you?
I was blindfolded. I don't know.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know if I was there or not.
It was up in Mount Cootha.
Yeah, that's right. And they took us up to Mount Cootha. It was a
Caravan.
fucking caravan. And we had 15 minutes before.
With an aerial on top.
Yeah, before they had to go because the cops were triangulating their whereabouts. And it was like, this is French underground shit. I mean,
well, not quite.
Not quite. It was like more Brisbane overground.
Mount Cootha, was that where Channel 7 was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Channel 9.
What does that say?
Channel 10. Something about a drink with Matt, sharing a drink with Matt, which is what we're doing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, so everything's going good.
The interview is secondary.
Yeah.
It's turned out very well, I think. Are we boring you yet? No one else is saying anything.
But
I'm running out of power, but we've still got a bit to go.
With respect to Triple Z, I mean, because they were housed, because they were in the university grounds, University of Queensland. They started off there, I think, but the police had no jurisdiction on university grounds. So they held these gigs and they were called joint efforts. I saw Split Ends. I saw In Excess, but they were fucking nobodies.
It was often the first time you heard of somebody was they were playing at the
absolutely. I saw some of the fucking great gigs. And of course, we're like young teenagers, so you could go to the uni, get absolutely shit-faced, and no one's going to give you grief.
You did have to leave though at some point.
Well, the uni was a big place to stumble around and then wake up at dawn going, "Oh fuck, I'm in the middle of the quadrangle again with my pants off."
Yeah.
Again.
And it wasn't too far to walk home to Toowong or Indooroopilly.
It was a motherfucker to Dutton Park because there was a river in the way.
And the jail.
Not 4 o'clock in the morning.
No, after you drunk a goonie.
And also, Mickey, you would remember this. I thought of this as we were raising glasses to
PT.
PT, but this is more raising a glass to Ron Pino and Lewis Tillett, because I remember going to Easts and seeing the wet taxis support died pretty in about 84, 85 maybe.
Yeah. Was that the Rifles?
The Rifles and the Rifles headline.
Yeah.
I've got the poster. Rorty goes to Collingwood or something. Yeah.
Collingwood. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it was wet taxis died pretty.
Yeah.
Rifles, and there was another. Oh, I can tell you. Hang on.
Oh, you can, can't you?
Google it.
No, I've got my.
What are we gonna do without you? This guy is a wealth. He's a walking archive.
He's the
Mushroom Planet.
Mushroom Planet. Fuck.
Take me away.
Ripley.
Yeah. Hot Records and Rorty Dog Cabaret presents Rorty Goes to Collingwood.
Fuck, man, we freaked out about them when we first heard them going, fuck, they're cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bar pedal.
Yeah. But I mentioned to Penny, I can just a little while just after Lewis died, because I just sent my condolences, and I told her about that gig, and I said, you guys were completely an unknown to us.
Never heard of them before.
We kind of and died pretty, to me, were unknown.
Never heard of them until that day.
Yeah, we were there to see the Rifles.
The Rifles I've heard of,
Yeah, they probably had like a single out at that time.
Yeah.
The Celibate Rifles, just to clarify.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that was a bit familiar.
Not some unknown Rifles band.
Yeah, Damo. Yeah.
Who's next, eh? Who's next?
Not me.
We lost Mr. Bad Ronald.
Yeah.
Oh, Rollo.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right,
wasn't that
I was lucky enough to see him not so long before he died.
He would give me a blowhard single every time I saw him. I think I've got about 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah, I've got about 4 or 5 of the very first ones he sent me in Sydney in like 92 or something. And because I'd seen him in Brisbane, because we used to, Rolo and those guys were a couple of years under us. And so we were in Brisbane, early 80s, we were playing in hardcore bands, and they were just about to start, like, in the next year doing the same. So but Rolo became an institution in this town, and fantastic, beautiful fucking guy. Beautiful
They
guy.
named the park after him.
Yeah, good. They should name the fucking city after him.
Yeah, well, he was the guy to go to get a gig for a while, for a long while.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, it's
I
not
saw
easy
them
to
one
do that.
night with Festive Fanatics.
What was that? Sorry.
I saw them one night with the Festive Fanatics.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the first time I ever saw Bad Ronalds was New Year's Eve. Bad Ronalds, Hard On Stupids.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, the first band that he had that I recall were NTT, the Nocturnal Teetotalers. That morphed into Strange Stains.
Yep.
That morphed into Bad Ronald, I think.
Yep.
And
Blowhard, I think, was next.
And Blow, and it was about that time I fucked off out of Brisbane. But maybe Blowhard. It's when Blowhard kind of came together when he hooked up musically with Fred, the drummer.
Yeah.
Because Mickey, you're the source of this. There was a band knocking around Brisbane called New Improved Testament. They never released anything, but there's a bitchin' fucking cassette.
They released that.
And it was.
I did the artwork on the cover.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Wow, I remember them. I mixed them at the refectory at the
Fred was in them.
Oh yeah, well that's my point. Fred, I think it was one of Fred's first bands that I knew of.
Yeah.
Blew
you away.
That was after Public Execution, Fred.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
It's got a long history of rich sort of that sort of stuff.
Terry Devery just asked me to do something musically with him the other day. I said, can we just sit and listen to Fear?
Fear, no more beer. Fear, more beer.
He was the one that introduced me to Fear. This guy, Terry Devery, played in an early punk Brisbane band called Public Execution. And Terry was the first guy that I ever met that was legitimately psych discharged from the army because he was too aggressive for the infantry.
Bad soldier.
Fucking so fucking funny.
I'd be proud of that.
And I remember in '83 when Dead Kennedys came and Public Execution had the sport North Leagues Club, and Terry was so into Fear, the first album, and he came up to Jello, and I was kind of just hanging, and he walked up to Jello, went, "Hey man, do you know Fear?" And Jello turned around with this look on his face and goes, "Oh, dude, those guys are yahoos." And turned around and walked off. And Terry, I thought Terry was going to fucking rip his head off.
We didn't know much. Turned out to be true.
I know, they were complete yahoos.
Yeah.
Have you read this?
That first album, the music, that first, like, Fear the Record is.
New York's all right.
But
Triple Z again. That's where I first heard.
There's so many songs on that foreign policy song. Jesus, I mean, it's so good.
Yeah. Have you read this?
Limelight.
Limelight. It's
story, wouldn't it?
Is this like my life as told by me about me? And I'll do the first review. It's really great.
I'm the villain and the hero.
It's a real page turner, Mick Blood. I nearly had to punch the shit out of that guy one time because of the way he was treating his stage guy.
Yeah, he was bad with that. Yep.
Man, I was at
We're not political at all.
I was at the monitor's desk side of stage, and I'm going to walk up on stage and I'm going to drop the cunt. Like I cannot bear this guy anymore. It's like for the talent he's got on show, he just has not got the right to be treating people like that. And then I realised the hypocrisy of what I was saying and what I wanted to do.
That's when we decided not to be political anymore.
Yeah, I just can't go up onto someone else's stage and beat them up because I feel badly for the the stagey.
Well, he single-handedly ruined his career, didn't he? Really?
Well, he earned the right.
It was a shit career. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, look, he was always very lucky with the people that played with him. I mean, Richard Lawson, I mean, I watched him more than any other Australian drummer in terms of how I wanted to play drums. I thought he was such a great drummer. And remember, Adrian, when you left Schooler Street in Marrickville and I moved in with Michelle and Jeb moved in, who was playing guitar.
Yeah, for sure. He was there when I was there.
Yeah, right. So he was there when I moved in. Yeah. And I was because I thought he was a great guitarist.
Yeah, he's great.
My guitar playing experience was still in its infancy at that point. Like I told people like you guys that I could play guitar when I couldn't. I was trying to fake it, but I couldn't even fake it. But I said to him, can you show me some exercises or something that I can do to practice?
Yep.
And he went, and Michelle's in the background, scales, Sly, scales. Like,
you have got scales.
I'm a scaly dude.
You've always had scales.
And
I want to play my guitar, not weigh my guitar.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah,
but
good.
I have no idea what a guitar weighs.
That's a fucking good line, Nicky. That's a cracker. But Jed turned around and said, I'll just practice your scales. And I said, can you just show me a couple of couple of licks that I will do? And he goes, I don't know. I went, whoa.
Rebel, this guy.
I just saw you play the other night and you're fucking caning it, motherfucker. Yeah. I mean, but it turned out he knew as much as I did about playing guitar. He couldn't even give me a hint.
Probably had a good setup.
Or maybe he was giving me a hint, like, fuck off.
Oh, he's a pretty nice guy, though, isn't he?
I want to play my guitar, not weigh it. That's great.
Right.
That's right.
Scales. Fuck scales. That's great. That's fucking great. That's the best line I've heard in ages.
The heaviest guitar wins.
Oh, I'm just going to go around guitar shops and just like say that.
Like a justice scale thing going with a blindfold.
Scales.
Justice. Right then.
Oh, so where are you? Where are you, Matt?
Wollongong.
Oh, the gong.
The gong.
Yeah.
Love the gong.
Tim Oxley, friend
of the proton energy pills.
Well, did you know a little bit of pub trivia? That we taught proton energy pills how to roll cigarettes before they became the legendary pot smokers that they were. I remember at the teachers' club, I remember sitting side of stage, and Jay, no fucking drinker. Jay, bless his heart. I fucking love that.
Feel like the last man standing.
I really, really
not
love
long
Jay.
before he passed.
He was great.
He was a beautiful guy.
Told him everything he knows. Not everything I know, but everything he knows.
What about joint rolling? And he said, "Can you roll me a cigarette?" And I went, "No, but what I can do is give you a fishing rod." And
So
he goes, "What?" He's like, "You know,
teach a man to frish."
That was what I was, but he didn't know what I was talking about. And I said, "You know," and he did. He rolled his own smoke, and he was fucking stoked. He went over to Lenny, proud. He's all of a sudden fucking Jay's 10 feet tall. Like, and Lenny's going, "Whoa, where'd you get the smoke?" He goes, "I rolled it."
That's great.
Something about
I
him.
know.
Like he had the eternal child about him.
He was beautiful. It was a sad one. But at least he didn't get old and decrepit.
Like I do. Will.
Like I am.
I'm going to be.
Yeah, I spoke to him a couple of months before he passed at my local pub. He was there drinking.
Yeah, well, that's what you do at a pub.
Was he happy?
Yeah.
He was happy in life.
Yeah, he just did not stop talking.
Yeah.
Because I was like in journalist mode kind of thing, and just like fucking asking him questions after questions, and as you do. And yeah, I fucking found him to be a fucking beautiful person, man.
Yeah.
Mm.
See, I knew. Well, we knew him, but they were little boys. I mean, I got to know him so much better as an older guy. When Sean Greenway died from Yes Men, and Sean had somehow from Melbourne with no resources had released this record, Prosody, and the band members were Hersey on drums, Jay on bass, Stewie Cunningham on guitar, and Matty Whittle on. What the fuck was Matty doing? No, Stuart Cunningham wasn't there. That was the Freeloaders. The Yes Men. Sean was playing guitar, and Sean Greenway from God, and they had an album launch all ready to go, and Sean died, and Maddie rang me up, and it was it was one of those real privileged moments. He said, "We're going ahead with the album launch, and if Sean could have anyone sing this fucking gig, it'd be you. So will you do it?" And
of course.
Oh, fuck yeah, of course. But it was emotional. Jesus fucking Christ, it was emotional. And I love Sean so much, you know. That was a punch in the fucking heart. But it was that week rehearsing with the guys that I really, because Jay wasn't in your face guy, you know, I really got to appreciate what a smart and thoughtful, you know, he was a bit of a watcher, you know, and just a fucking lovely guy.
Yeah.
So what? In the gong, what's is Lenny still local?
Yeah.
What do they do?
I think he's got a country kind of sounding band now.
If you see him, ask him if he wants to sell me one of his Moss Wright guitars for almost nothing.
That sounded a good deal.
Yeah.
Give it to me from
The blue one, actually.
As much as I don't want to do this, but I've got to wrap it up. My phone's about to die.
I was wondering how you were going to wrap it up.
I was going to say, yeah, how's this poor cunt going to get rid of us?
I'll speak for another 2 hours if I could. But we've got to get this up on YouTube, and no one's going to watch a 4-hour interview.
That's right.
So how about we end off with a bit of a tune?
Sure. What do you suggest?
You know, he's going to play.
You could play something on there.
He was going to play the biggie, wasn't he?
Are you playing one or am I playing one? You play one. You pick one from a repertoire, if you like.
Well, my favourite, Fish Biscuit, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, the biscuit.
Are you able to play that on this recording? Like, so it'll come through?
Christ, he's talking to us face to face from all of us.
Yeah, could just go through the mic.
Oh, I've got a feeling he's got a grip on his tech.
Not like you.
Not like me.
All right.
So yeah. You know, do your thing, man. Is that what you?
I can't play for shit.
Oh, what do you want?
I thought you wanted to play Fistbix.
No. The only song I can play on guitar is "Wish You Were Here."
Let's play that then. I know that.
How about you play
on acoustic? You mean on acoustic guitar? Play something on the acoustic? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Right. So what song?
Fish Biscuit.
Oh
no.
That.
That's an electric guitar song.
No.
Yeah, I know, but
I know. There's limits. There's limits. Yeah, there's
out
limits.
of your music, can you play on acoustic? Really?
You want to play one on acoustic? I mean, together. Like,
No.
What about one of your new ones?
No.
Yeah,
you know,
good.
I think you know.
Let Matt
I like leaving him wanting.
Yeah.
You play something, Adrian. Mickey, you play something. You play something, Christo. I'm gonna play with Molly the dog.
Have you got? Are you in the room with your vinyl set up, Matt?
No.
Have you got a music box in there at all? Nothing.
No, it's my daughter's using it at the moment.
That's all right. I've got one right here, so I'll just put one of the Splatterheads records on, and we can go out that way. How's that sound?
Yep, sounds good to me.
Turn it up a bit, and you can hear it.
Turn it up.
Of course, I don't know where it is right now.
Hey, nice to see you, Adrian.
Yeah, nice to catch you.
And nice to meet you, Matt.
Yeah, you too, mate. We've met before,
get us
but
together for a
yeah,
drink,
I know, but like on a Sunday morning.
yeah.
Have you got my bass going yet, Sly?
No, nearly, mate. You're not going to recognise it.
Well,
She's going to be humming. New boots and panties.
Get Christo and Mickey together. We'll do a jam one day.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Sure. I've got I told you I've got the I'm putting the wiring harness for a P bass, Fender P bass in it.
Right.
No, sorry, a jazz because it's
jazz. Yeah. Well, I've got a room when you're ready.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, it'll be a cracker.
Cool. And here comes the music, man.
Oh, listening to the turnbuckles here. Gonna sign off. Love you, boys. See ya.
Love you.
Yeah, bud.
Thanks, Matt. It's been great.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Cheers, Matt.
Cheers, mate. Enjoyed. Thank you very much.
Cool.
Christo's doing.
Yep. Is he gonna play this song or
Yeah, he's pulling it out of his sleeve. I see
okay?
his shirt there.
Oh man. Excellent.